welcome to another episode of Hard Driving. You know, I've touched on a lot of different things, but I've never really talked about driving a whole lot. Hence the name of the show, Hard Driving. You guys kind of riding along and whatnot. But I've never really given my commentary about driving. Alright, a couple things here. First of all, I do own the first 300 feet in front of me. I do not own the road as a truck driver, but I do own some of that real estate, whether you like it or not. That's why I don't follow right up on people's bumpers. So if I give myself some space and you get into that space, well, you just put yourself in the danger zone. Something else, if you notice that drivers in semis are going slow, and a lot of them are going slow during bad weather, it's probably time that you should slow down a little bit too. Another thing, four-wheel drives, gotta love them in the snow. On the ice, they just slide a little bit faster. That's why I like to explain to people that, you know, they're like, oh, your big semi, it's real heavy, you can drive in anything, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you what, on ice, again, it just goes faster. The other thing is I'll tell you right now, I think that it should be mandatory that everyone getting their license should learn how to drive a manual shifter. It's a manual shift transmission. It's beyond me why we don't do this. I learned on a manual shift. At the end of the day, you can still get a manual shift car. I personally think the automakers kind of cringe when people get manual shift cars because not as much can go wrong, and it's a lot easier to change a transmission in one. Just a lot less things can go wrong, in my opinion. I'm not a mechanic, but in my experiences. The other thing is if you're going to drive down the road like this Yahoo up here with your hazards on, get it out of the hammer lane. The hammer lane is where we go a little bit faster and we tend to be able to pass people. We don't drive in the hammer lane with our hazards on. If you're going to drive with your hazards on, especially in bad weather, drive in the grading lane. Grading lane, hammer lane. You can kind of get it. Grading lane is where we go slower. Alright. We're learning something today, I think. And if this is review, well, review is good too, because sometimes we forget. Back to getting your license, I think that they should equip some 18-wheelers with cameras all around. Have those drivers go out, get video, put it together. They should edit together a video of, you know, about a week's worth of driving and show how cars really act around semis. I would say, well, have the student ride with the driver, but obviously there'd be liability issues. So that would be the next best thing, in my opinion. I also think that it should be mandatory that a new driver, you know, we used to have red asphalt and all that stuff. I do think that they should see what happens to people that are in accidents, drunken driving accidents, texting, speeding, what have you. They need to know what they're up against. These aren't toys. Again, it's not your right to drive, it's your privilege. And it's not one to be, taken lightly or taken advantage of. And all you parents that are like, oh, I don't want precious little Johnny or little Janie to see these things. Well, you know what? If they're gonna get their license, they're gonna go out. Chances are they may end up seeing a body bag or two. Hopefully not. I know I've seen my fair share of bad things on the road. So, you know, just again, some experience. Last but not least, following distances. Do not follow a truck, or a car for that matter, right up on their bumper. Especially a truck. If we stop fast, we have to stop fast, and you don't stop, you're going to end up eating the ICC bumper. It's that bumper that hangs down from the trailer. And if you can't stop fast enough, what's going to happen is you are going to have the steering wheel come up into your chest, and if you don't, or you know, your rib cage, if you don't die automatically, it's going to be a painful death. You will suffer, and it's going to leave a lifelong scar on your loved one's life because you wanted to tailgate. So just a few things to think about. Obviously, don't pass semis on the right if you can help it. They call it passing side on the left, suicide on the right. I'm not saying this for my health, because honestly, if you run into the back of me and die, I'm probably just going to feel bad, which I will feel bad, but it's not going to hurt me physically. If you run up underneath my trailer, again, I will probably be okay. Hopefully you would be too. Chances are you won't be. Again, it's going to, you know, could be harmful to me as well. If you get right in front of me and we tangle up, chances are I can be hurt, you can be hurt, we can both end up dying. So don't take the chance. Be careful. Watch what you're doing. Watch your following distances. Don't cut trucks off, because obviously we can't stop on a dime. And, you know, just have some common sense. I'm Wicked Mike. This has been Hard Driving. Check me out on Facebook, Hard Driving Wicked Mike, or email me, wickedmikehd@gmail.com, or leave your 2 cents right here on YouTube if I can get it right. I'm Wicked Mike. This is Hard Driving. Catch you on the flip.
This has been Hard Driving with your host, Wicked Mike.